one or angel or high self, I don't know, but just told me, you can do it. Just you have to swim under the water. I never heard theories how to swim in this situation. I was 12, but what happened next year was amazing. I'm telling you, we have heaven in us. Heaven is in us, and
All right, my friends, I am here with Vita. She's an author and she's a holistic therapist practitioner, and she has quite the story. She's going to give us some background on her spiritual experiences and her perhaps her childhood leading up to that. Welcome to the show, Ina.
thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood growing up, or when you first started experiencing some of these spiritual phenomena, and or start wherever you would like.
Yes. Oh, from my childhood, I'm originally from Bulgaria. Now I live in the UK in the last 12 years, but originally I'm from Bulgaria. And actually, the first situation in my childhood, I know from my mom and my grandmother and my family. I was baby, newborn, and there was a situation with risk for my life because my sister, she just non-intentionally, she was toddler at that time, suffocated me. I was in the other room, and first moment when my mom and grandmother went to the room, they were shocked that I don't breathe, I'm blue, and I'm ready to go. I don't remember, of course, this moment, but it's like I had some situations in my life where I was very, very close to, how to say, to the edge, maybe to dead, but always someone or some powers and forces saved me. So I don't remember this, but I believe that something when we experience like this, even in very, very early childhood, somehow seal or somehow affect even our brain. So what I remember really clearly, until now, even I don't have much explanation about this, but I remember situations and the same repeating dream, for example, how I am in the mountain and how, like a spiral, I'll climb the mountain like a spiral, and at the peak, on the top, I just can see the energy. And I even always ask my mom, what is this? It's what I describe like I see electricity. I saw just waves, 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 waves. And this dream repeated so many times. And for me, when I started later, years, decades later, for example, to meditate and to practice some spiritual practices, when I was able to meditate, I was close to this condition. But in my childhood, I was confused what actually I experienced. So often I had dreams for events that happened, for example, later when I was at school, to tell people that something is going to happen, or to have a dreams. And for example, a situation that I remember in my secondary school, there was a friend in our group that was accepted as student to go to the USA to become a student there. And we had a party just to celebrate that. On the very next days, he'll fly to the USA. And I remember when we only, he and me outside, in one moment, I just told something to him that I was shocked that I even expressed such words. I told him, be very careful to not, and to avoid crash and to stay alive. And I was shocked, and he just looked at me so shocked. What is going on? Why is she telling me this stuff? And I was so confused. And literally 2 3 weeks, maybe less than a month, actually, when he arrived in the USA, the bad news just arrived that unfortunately there was there was a car accident, and he passed away, and he was dead in this car accident. And I remember when we gathered at his home with his mom and all our groups of friends, etc. I was so shocked, and I was, oh my gosh, why I told him this, and did I was able to do something to help him, or to save how somehow him, etc. So I had questions, and you can imagine, for example, in Bulgaria, communistic country, ex-communistic country, even my family, part of my family, they were communist, and we were not allowed to think about religions or something beyond, etc. Although I was so curious and always tried to read and learn such stuff and to read about. But later, my favorite auntie, she developed cancer. Even in my family and among my relatives, so strange situations. For example, she passed away from cancer, of her colon cancers, exactly 10 years after her husband was killed in Bulgaria. And even days before she to pass away, she was already almost in coma with morphine, etc., because the pain was horrible. She woke up just to ask what date is. So when she passed away, it was horrible, and it was pain, because she was like my second mom, like I had two mothers. So loving she was. I
Mm.
had a dream, and she asked me stuff that there was no way I to know about this. And I asked my mom and my cousin. She asked me about some shirt, about some stuff in the house, and they were shocked. How do you know about this? And I told them I just had a dream with her, and she asked me, and they checked, and everything was according, exactly according to my dream. Unfortunately, maybe some of my experience, nevertheless, I'm positive, optimistic, always strong heart character, supportive to people. But in my life, it's like that somehow gave the biggest lessons, because very early in my family, we lost very close. For example, my sister passed away when she was 26 years old. I was 24, and months before, I saw that everywhere among the hills, among in the trees, between the trees. In this moment, I was student in Sofia, and every week, almost in the winter, we used to go to ski in Borovets ski resort. And sometimes I just stopped, and I was between the trees and woods. I was like seeing green shadow, and I knew somehow that this is that. And I was shocked. What is this? And maybe because I somehow even wanted to develop my some of my gifts. In this moment, I followed Carlos Castaneda. I wasn't
Ah,
so big fan, yes, but anyway, I tried some of his practices and Don Juan practices. So I was so shocked, and even I was like, oh my gosh, something happened to me. Even I told my best friend, do you know what? There is so strange. Something will gonna happen to me. Even I remember once when with my boyfriend at that moment, and one of my friends, we were three in the car, and again I saw this shadow far in the hill between the trees. I was so shocked, and I told him stop the car, and I like a crazy. Of course, I was not like a crazy. I started screaming against these shadows. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? And there was just voice in my head. Prepare and be ready soon. I was shocked. Is this going something to happen to me? Even wrote a letter, and gave this letter in an envelope and sealed with my best friend, and told her if something is going to happen to me, just please give it to my mom. So just to return a bit years, when my auntie, for example, passed away, after this dream that I had with her, one night, because I cried so much, and where is she now? What is going, what is there options for life after that, etc., etc. I had amazing dream. I saw the best and the most amazing sound and music. Angels sang, and
Wow.
I'm not able never to forget this sound. It's so crystal, so like a something so high, even it's hard to describe. It's difficult to use words.
I've
So
heard that
later,
I've
yes,
heard that before from other NDErs and then people with out of body
yes, it
experiences
it
that
was like confirmation that my aunt is in some clear crystal, blessed and full with love and purity and
sounds like an NDE experience, many of them.
yes, 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 and before my sister to have brain stroke, she passed away from brain stroke,
Mm.
and I saw everywhere this green shadow, and I knew something is going to happen, but never expected that, because during the months I saw this shadow time by time, months and months and months, and I was, what is going on? Why I see this? Often I had dreams, telling people different stuff that is even doesn't concern me. For example, go to my hairdresser and had dream about her some question, and just told her, do you know what? I had dream with you, and she was, oh my gosh, 3 months we are fighting with my husband and trying to resolve. This is like a answer and key and something that resolve this between us, and thank you very much, etc., etc. So it obviously my intuition was strong from my early childhood.
Yeah.
Another very significant moment I remember in my childhood, when we were with my family. I maybe was 11 or 12 years old, and we were for summer holiday at Black Sea Resort. And I remember a day with very big waves, and my dad and my sister and group cousins, and we just jumped and enjoyed the sea and the waves. And in one moment, we saw a group of 3 or 4 German children with inflatable beds in the sea, and maybe there was this kind of flow under the water that actually grab you back to the sea, and they just start to scream, that started to drown, actually start to scream, and we tried to pull them close to, just to escape, but obviously, this flow took all of us. My dad and my sister. Yeah, I remember she wasn't able to swim. I was like a beginner swimmer or something like that. Only swimming lessons at school. But the flow was so strong. So in one moment, the safeguards so and that something dangerous happening in the sea, and they started to actually to try to save all of these children, and because my dad, I remember he started to cry, help, help, my also my cousin, etc. But a wave threw me maybe 2 3 meters or maybe more, far from all of them. It was like I was separated and they was in one spot. So I remember I started to drown, just even in one moment, there is a kind of panic, and you're not able even to behave, and to find some way, just there, wave after wave, wave after wave. There is no enough oxygen. In one moment, you start swallowing water, etc. You try to scream or something, but I remember clearly that I heard a voice, and I felt like someone behind me, like strong hands, like someone behind me, very big and strong, and a voice, and this one or angel or high self, I don't know, but just told me, you can do it. Just you have to swim under the water. I never heard theories how to swim in this situation. I was 10 or 11 years old, something like this.
Mhm.
And it strange was that in the moment when again another wave went to me and pushed me, in the very moment when the wave was against me and pushed me, it's like someone just pushed me in my back under the wave. And just I heard this voice, just do it and swim. And yeah, yes, I did it. I escaped this, and when I was shaking, threw myself on the beach, and yeah, no one. They saved all, and my dad they escaped, and the safeguards even helped these children. So this was lucky situation. But then when I thrown myself, my body is shaking and start crying, and I just heard they were close to me. Two safeguards, they just talked between we were sure that she's not able and we can't approach her where she was. So it was like they maybe very quick decided to somehow to sacrifice me and to focus their efforts on the group because there were more people. But definitely some force, something just helped me to escape the sea. And this moment is one of significant moments, and because different situation they just increase in I had different experience I needed answers. And for example, one of the reasons I decided to study theology, religious studies, was not because I was religious so deeply. Yeah, I definitely always felt something, but wasn't because I had religious background, or I just needed answers. Even my family and my relatives, because they all were ready I to study law.
Yeah.
I was so clever, intelligent, etc. And when I told them, "Oh no, I'm going to study religious studies," and they were like a shock. But why? And how to tell them? I just needed answers. And maybe partly of my experience, partly of all what I needed to know, I found in, let's say, in religious science, but not all, definitely not all, not everything. I was in perfect health, by the way, in my childhood. Never struggled with some illnesses, etc., except sometimes chest infections or throat infections, etc., etc. But another significant moment in my life, and this strange experience and spiritual experience I had, is out of body experience. I remember I was my second year in at the university, and I got maybe some kind of virus or infection, and it was like my immune system somehow was provoked and was like a crushing my immune system. Nevertheless, I was always in good and perfect health, and every week, every 3 4 days, they took blood tests from me, and just antibiotics over antibiotic, and I just every day was like I used my life stamina and my energy, and doctors were confused. I took the strongest antibiotics at that time they gave me, but nothing actually worked. And in one moment, I asked my boyfriend at that time, you know what? I don't feel well. I feel like I don't have any stamina, even I wasn't able just even to move my hands was so weak. And I told him, I was student at Sofia. My town is around 100 kilometers from the capital. Please drive me back to home because I don't feel well at all. So my mom stopped working for a while. She took days off just to look after me. And I clearly remember she was in the kitchen, just cooked some chicken soup for me. I was in the living room, just laying behind any stamina, any force, like just like this, in the living room. And first I had a dream, but these vivid dreams, like real dream. I first saw in this dream I'm naked and in some kind of storm, snow and wind and storm. I try to approach a house like an ancient church, like a small church from the past. And when I approach and just fall down on the ground, I was naked. In my dream, a group of women and men in brown robes, I remember clearly, they made a circle. Someone threw over my body some kind of the same rope like they used to wear just to cover me up, and they start to pray. And it's strange because later, years later, actually, when I read about Bogumius, this is a Bulgarian sect Bogumius, they are very close to French Catars, etc. They used to wear these brown robes, and also in their community, they followed Christianity, of course, but in their community, women and men, they were absolutely equal. And it was
Mm.
strange because in my dream, both men and women, they made this circle. It like was, always I think that maybe, but at the moment, I didn't know, but always later, when I go to this moment, I think that somehow maybe in the past I was related to group of Bogomils, because when I go to places, especially strange energy places or churches, even I can recognize the energy. But
Was
what happened next? They start praying and the dream disappear. It was vivid dream, so real, and they start to pray. In the moment when they start praying in my dream, so vivid, like parallel reality. I saw my body from above in the living room. I was above. I saw my body from above in the living room. I left the house like a floating in the air, but very fast, but very fast. I remember approached the stadium. Our house is in Bulgaria is very close to the stadium, and so fast, at least with so high speed, I moved. So even in one moment when I flew above the seat, it was like a tension. I felt tension in my face, and I was, oh my gosh, I hurt myself. But it was so high speed, and just in one moment, I jumped high in the sky, and in the beginning was like a daily sky, immediately turned to dark sky with so
mm,
many stars, and they start to move like a spiral. And in one moment, very big lights formed, but far away, really far away. And I wanted to go there, but I haven't seen tunnel or something, only the lights. After this spiral was formed by stars, it was like this light like start to pulling me, but there was a voice, where you're going? You're so, it's so early. You have so much tasks to do, tasks and so many tasks to do, so much to do down there. So go back. And immediately in this moment, it was like I woke up in my body.
mm. That sounds like a
And
near-death experience to me.
yes, and was the next one. I felt that I'm perfectly fine. My stamina and energy and my I was like a perfect my health condition. I start to jump and went to the kitchen and Mama, I'm fine. And no, she go to bed, go to the sofa, relax. I'm ready. Tomorrow we'll go to the doctor. No, I'm absolutely fine. I start jumping and dancing, and the very next day, when we visited the doctors, they again to take blood test to see, I was like, but everything is fine with her. Before this, all my blood results was like something that they even can't diagnose properly. It's happened with my body and me. In one moment, After this, there was, but she's fine. Even she doesn't need to continue with any antibiotics, etc. So definitely, I never could. I'm never. Even it's impossible. I to forget this. It's impossible. I to forget this experience. It's so vivid and real, like was yesterday. Nevertheless, it was decades.
Do you think that when you were at the church and the people were forming a circle around you, do you think that was a past life memory, possibly?
Maybe, or maybe when you, because with such experience, I started to read books to try to find information. During this time, communism already crashed down. Nevertheless, actually, according to my opinion, Bulgaria is still strongly tied to some Russians and some ex-secret services in Bulgaria that they formed later the newest political parties, but this is different subject.
Right.
So I think that if I was somehow connected with this group and Bogumir's ancestors in critical situations, ancestors always can help, because in critical situations, when I have, even for difficulties in later my, for example, toxic marriage, etc., or something bad to happen, always I dreamed my grandma mother, or someone provided me information, or someone advised me, don't do this, don't do that. So I was like, always I had advisors and especially in my dreams, especially in my dreams. And not only strange, but sometimes even to help and support people in daily basis stuff. Like decade ago, maybe 15 years ago, I had a dream. This is even not like a so strange experience, but like a strong intuition. I had a dream, strange how actually we can function and we can receive information and perceive and actually be in touch with subtle a reality, or a reality that we still try hard to explain. But for example, it's not so mystical, but for example, to dream password of a man and his Skype password, and I was shocked. Why they told me my dream. Remember going in his Skype. I was in contact trying to start some kind of relationship with him, and I was, why they saying me this? And I did it. I went in his Skype, and in the beginning was fun because with my friend we just, oh look, he had have a, has a correspondence with this and this and this, and in one moment it was fun, really funny, can imagine. But what happened next? What I discovered that in this moment, and by the way, I had similar situation even last year, and again I had dreams. What I discovered, he was in his 40 years, never married and never had children, and he only wanted to have a child, just to have a child. And he stringed among, or maybe more, 7, 8 women, very toxic. Just drink it and try. Like in this moment, I wasn't aware about narcissism and etc. etc. But when I read how actually he emotionally abused these women, trying to use them, I was shocked. Oh my gosh, that's why they asked me. I don't know. And what I did, I just copied paste to everyone from his Skype, everything. They just to know it. Like I had to save somehow these women to avoid and escape this kind of toxic and narcissistic man. And it was strange, for example, because last year with a man that I never wanted to, yeah, my intuition already is developed, and I'm a dowser professional, so I can check. So now it's very different than these times that I describe. But again, I had a dream. And for example, even my second book is related to this, even is more horrible case than this 15 years ago, more horrible. It's even maybe I have to stop. If you want, in some moment I can share, but this is even this intentionally evil.
Yeah.
And again, I had to just to, and in this case, he even is married. So
Ah,
I had to alarm his wife, and now around more than 10 women,
oh boy.
even with money fraud and financial fraud, and he used for money. So yeah, I know my intuition is strong, etc. But let's 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 turn to this mystical.
Yeah, tell us about your Kundalini awakening, if you will.
Yes, in the beginning, I wasn't aware that was Kundalini. Somehow, I believe that I slowly prepared myself for this stage because I never wanted, never was interested actually to practice specific yoga or Kundalini, etc. Only what I practice was breathing exercises, yeah, yes, meditation, etc. But between COVID, two COVID lockdowns, and and because in this moment I started to practice radionics as well, and I believe radionics also helped me a lot. I too experienced Kundalini because in radionics, what we do first before we to start to treat physical illness and physical body, we treat subtle anatomy. So we remove all blockages, all traumas, in putting balance, everything. But what I started to practice during first COVID lockdown, I returned to, and this was again after I had a dream. I had a dream, and it's remind me that I started decades ago a practice from again from Carlos Castaneda, and this is how practice you to clear everything that is not yours, is not authentic yours, like to remove everything is you accepted from society, from parents, from school, from books, from culture, from just influences, but is not authentic yours. So the practices you have to remember every moment in your life. Even I was surprised to remember things that I was completely unaware that I remember. Just you forget past sometimes. But when you turn consciously to some experiencing past and emotionally and consciously see the situation from the present point of view, you can actually see yourself, was this your reaction and your choice or wasn't your choice, and just to separate your choices from choices that were influenced by parents, society, etc., or fears or anything. It was like a clearing yourself, and they call it like dark night of the soul. But believe me, in this moment I wasn't aware what was. I wasn't aware. It took me months later. So during two COVID lockdowns, I because I became very sensitive, and I wasn't able to live in the town anymore. In this moment, we lived in Watford, and I desperately needed to isolate myself somewhere close to sea, close to the nature, to meditate and to work on myself. So me and my son, in this moment, we decided to move to the Isle of Wight and our dog. So we moved to the Isle of Wight, and I continued this practice. Yes, also my work, my practices, my clients, etc. So this is like a prehistory what I experienced. And when first time it was like a Kundalini awakening, but very slowly relating to the second time, my dog passed away, and I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready at the moment. I have to stop everything. But what happened next year was amazing. I'm telling you, we have heaven in us.
Mm.
Heaven is in us, and I experienced exactly this. It started first with, and in this moment also, I started practice on alchemy meditation. This is from French alchemist meditation with two metals, and it's like you have to hold iron in your right hand, and I think is lead. just second to double check the metal. Yes, lead, how it pronounced, lead. This metal, soft metal that they use
Oh,
in
lead.
lead, yes. So I started to practice this meditation. That is actually like Egyptian ancient meditation, and you have to hold in one moment like this, like a cross. And what in an Egyptian pyramids they hold is these metals, iron and lead. It's purify this meditation, alchemy meditation actually purify your blood and your memories and your energy. So I think what I experienced later, but in this moment for 3 4 months, I wasn't aware this was Kundalini. I wasn't aware. It started with vortex in my heart chakra, so amazing vortex. It involved all my centers in my body, and it's like renewed all my cells, and I didn't need sleep, and I didn't need so much food. It was like my intuition worked amazing. I knew everything about everyone, and when I met people this time was like I healed them with words. And even was so strange because we visited Glastonbury, Thor. There is a amazing
Where
energy there, or Stonehenge, or different places, and unknown people, they just approach me like some energy influenced it, and they was attracted, and they just tried to contact me, and it was like I gave keys. Do you know what? I can see this for you, this for you, this for you. They cried, or oh my gosh, it's like you just I just released something from me. It was amazing, amazing 3 4 months, so
yeah,
intensive, so intensive.
where can we learn this meditation? Or how can we learn this meditation?
Yeah, it's very simple. You have to do this meditation. You have to lay down on the ground and the head to be a north direction. And first 10 minutes, you hold the metals without crossing your legs and your hands, just like this, for 10
Hmm.
minutes. And after that, you have to cross your legs. Never mind, right or left is upper, and just to cross without to change metals for another 10 minutes. So in this moment, I practice this meditation, also breathing, Sufi uh, breathing exercise, when you have to equal your breathing to be absolutely echoing. You just have to count. You just have to count. So inhale and exhale to be absolutely equal. But this energy was so amazing. You levitate. It was like I was centimeters or 50 centimeters above the ground. Even people experience me like this. Even was my friend, she's sound healer, and she used to play on African kora and African didgeridoo. Even during meditation, even now, even yesterday we had a meditation, and one of her friends, she play on Tibet singing bowls, and there was a we just see your astral body somewhere above the ground. But now I know the answers. But it took me around maybe 8 or 10 months. I used to contact colleagues in radionics and friends around the world. Do you know what? I experienced something amazing. It was like heaven in me, so pure love. It was this exactly how they put in images, pure from crown chakra, pure love and light, like a shower above you. And this energy definitely is conscious. This Kundalini energy that starts from the base chakra is conscious energy. Even a thought could destroy you. For example, I have people that I treat with my equipment, that they approach different practices and try to open their third eye or crown chakra, but when they are not ready, is could cause horrible symptoms, even panic attacks, etc. I was blessed because I experienced only the beautiful and the most amazing, pure intensive energy. The book that I want to publish now, I plan to write for 2 years. I wrote it for 6 months. 10, 15 hours. I was ready just to write and write and write and write. And last was like channeling message. I had this moment in the Alabama because I moved later. I moved back and I live now in Bournemouth. Moved back to the mainland. I had in this house, how I call it, a wall of Leonardo. Leonardo da Vinci is my favorite scholar, I could say, not only artist. So in these moments, even I had nights when it was like they revealed me some of even in the hidden secrets in some of his paintings, like Salvatore Mundi. Even but I'm not allowed now to reveal what I saw in this painting later. It's too early. Even this energy, amazing awakening, influenced me. I had the plans to establish charity, but years later to start treat children and people with autism and mental health issues with this radionic equipment that I use. But the message was no, years later, you have to do it now. It was like pure channeling, even in because I'm love stargazing and sky always attract me so much. I had nights when I looked with naked eyes, Jupiter or Venus, etc. It was like even you can't believe, but it was like I had connection with spirits of these planets, because the planets, they have spirits, live beings. And I saw once Jupiter like a sacred geometry, and if you try to search on the no posts on the planets, they're actually formed sacred geometry figures. One of the most amazing, and maybe the most amazing things before. I was still in Bulgaria. I moved almost 12 years ago from Bulgaria to the United Kingdom. And definitely in this period of time, maybe I lost somehow what I wanted to follow. I always had interest in astrology, esoteric, mystic stuff, etc., etc. But in this time in Bulgaria, I was involved in business and protests against corrupted governments, etc., etc. But I was so miserable. Nevertheless, my power, my optimism, every night I cried like I was far from what I wanted to do. It was so challenging, full of with challenging. In the surface, I was completely fine. I had business, I had partner, we traveled here and there, new car, everything is fine. It was like, oh my gosh, she dreamed her the best life. But every night I'm like disconnected from myself. What is going on? I can't, I don't know why I feel this way. And even in one moment, they just like this, they turned me back to my spiritual pathway. This, yes, this is the most significant moment. From this moment, I'm like sealed and tied up to my spiritual pathway, and I never could lose it. Even if I die and they cut my body in pieces, I could never lose my pathway because of this, what I saw in this night. And I believe somehow we are linked to forces, that the higher self, that they look after us. And when we have a mission, and when we have a calling and something to complete, there are forces above us that they don't allow we to be lost. So in this night, something appeared like in these fantastic movies, like from the air. From the air was dark in the room, but I was able not to see maybe with my physical eyes, but I remember I opened my eyes, but like with my inner eye, something appeared literally like. Do you remember this fantastic movie, the seventh of the Black Blake? This fantastic movie, how they teleported themselves from one dimension to another dimension to. So it was like something from another dimension.
Mm,
Definitely, it was not like it
okay.
something to appear slowly. It was like even less than a blink. So it was very strange. This thing was very, very strange.
I can only imagine.
Like a multi-dimensional, not big, like a multi-dimensional thing, and you can literally look through in it and to see platonic solids and flower of life. But in this moment, I wasn't aware of the flower of life. I wasn't aware what exactly. I just saw it was so fast, so fast. It was like in one moment, this thing allowed me to see it, scan it very fast, my like scanning my brain, but not slow, just like immediately. And I saw like even cube of Metatron, but later I discovered what I saw. It was so strange and disappeared the same way. Just I saw it, some sacred geometry of figures and platonic slides, and I remember in the morning I started immediately. I draw it on a paper. I draw it just to try to remember. And what was strange, in this day, I had to go to the library because my son postponed for months to return some books. And I was, oh my gosh, I have to go this way to the library because it's a shame. We keep these books for months, and it's a shame just because I allow him to not to return the books on time. So when I went in the library, the first thing I saw was a book cover, and on the book cover, flower of life, like an image.
Mhm.
Immediately grabbed this book, and what this book was, The Secret of the Flower of Life by Drunvalo Melchizedek. And I just sat in the, I remember I went to the nearest cafe and stayed there for hours and just read these books just in one breath. And in this moment, I just was like rediscovered and reconnected myself and my pathway. And I was, oh my gosh, this is why they sent me I to see these things. So I immediately to rediscover and go immediately on my pathway. So in the very next day, I contacted in this time my first teacher in astrology, numerology, and esoteric knowledge. She's one of the famous Bulgarian astrologers and like a TV star. So I used her services before, and immediately I have to study. I have to study. I have to start learning. And immediately I contacted her. Do you know what? I want to go in your course, and I'm in my pathway. I lost my pathway, but I'm again on my pathway. So this with this such strange events, they just somehow manage to keep you to continue. I have dreams, for example, like little hobbits, but Tibetans. In my dreams, when I had these dreams with energy that I see in the peak in the top of the mountains, like an electricity and waves, etc. Always three little like little not hobbits, but like Mudgets, even they showed me on my hands and told me and explained me how energy works, etc., etc. It was like you have teachers from always from kind of another reality, and now it's much more easier because now I know what experience, but it took me months. What I experienced, what was this intensive energy in one moment, was so intensive, so even horrible to, it was amazing bliss, the most amazing bliss. But you know what, when you have obligations and you have to look after your people and your clients and patients, and at this moment my mom, she also had some health issues and etc. In one moment you, it's like you have somehow even to sacrifice your own inner experience. And I remember before this, that's why I know this energy has own conscious. 2 years before, when I moved actually to the Isle of Wight, I decided to split my long relationship for 7 years. So in one more, but we still were in touch and in contact. And during this Kundalini awakening, but I haven't aware, and I didn't know what exactly I experienced. In one moment, I had a thought when usually we approach each other to just to check each other to talk, and in one moment I was, oh my gosh, why I left him? Who will look after him and his heart like me, etc., etc. And you know what? Like a cobra hit me exactly here. So horrible pain. Even a thought, because this energy is the most pure and blessed energy. And even a thought that is against you could be harmful. And I was like for 3, 4 hours paralyzed, cried the most horrible pain. I wasn't able to move my neck at all. Only one thing, when this hit me, this pain, it was like your path, your path is only forward, only straight and forward. So the message was, no, you have to follow your life mission and just to never look back. And it took me hours just even for a moment to decrease the pain. It was horrible. And even later weeks. And I remember this, it was like a blockage, because when you have something that can hold you back or block you, this energy can stay blocked for a while. And I remember a day before the solstice in Glastonbury tour, I had a meditation, and it was like two people awaited me there, a Spanish woman and a British man. And it was like I heard a voice. Yeah, I released the pain, but still there was some kind of blockage from energy. Nevertheless, I put myself on treatment, etc., and practices, exercise. And it was like in this day they awaited someone. Because when there are so many people, but only I approached to go in the tower, and we three started to meditate. And at the end of the meditation, it was like these blockages released, and huge energy, like a flame, like a purple flame, and always released. And even in this moment, I uh, started to talk to this Spanish woman also, after some of her friends came with drums, etc., and sang inside. It was amazing. And later when we talked, and the man told me, do you know what? We don't know each other. They traveled separate. But there was like a message that to get today, three, we have to meet in Tor Glastonbury, because it was like everyone, everybody, all people, there was like stayed outside, and only we was like allowed to stay at this moment. At the end of meditation, they came more, even my friend and the Spanish woman friend. And I was surprised when I started to talk with this Spanish woman. In this moment, I really like I provide healing with my words. And so many people in this time, I was still in my Kundalini intensive awakening, and so many people in this time, or you do something special with words. It's like you heal people with words, etc., and you know what exactly they need, etc., etc. But also what I was surprised when I asked the man what, just we started after this to chat, and I asked him what you do as job, etc., and he just silence was in silence and said, I'll show you because you understand immediately. And he showed me a radionic card similarly to one of these that I use. And I was, oh my gosh, it's like he knew what I do as job. And it was not but accident we to meet exactly these three people. And the very next day, I traveled to Stonehenge, and again talked with so many people, and like I had to help people. But what happened next, after almost 4 months intensive writing, inspiration, this energy is like your god, your goddess, you have you're superhuman. You're superhuman. All my, like all your cells are renewed, and even my sexual energy increased. I always had strong sexual energy, because it was like my Venus was blessed with this. But in this moment, there's always is decrease or increase in some amazing and blessing way, in some amazing pure way. But in one moment, this intensity, um, you're not able to manage this intensity because you need guidance. And I was shocked. What experience? What is this? And I remember the day when I decided to put myself on treatment with my radionic equipment to balance the energy and to ground, because we have these rates, we have 40,000 rates to decrease and balance. I cried for 4 hours. It was like oh, why I have to do this? And this was just like I knew that I have to do it somehow to avoid some negative experience, or just to ground, etc. And after this is real pain. It's real pain. Nevertheless, how balanced and strong you are is real pain. It's like you close the heaven in yourself and you dream about this heaven, and you can even, this is like your life is lost the most precious thing. And I was, oh my gosh, I had a heaven in me with this energy and this blessing, but I had to increase and to decrease it. And I'll do everything, I'll practice it, everything just to have it again. I'll do everything. But it's not possible just like this. For me, was spontaneous, this awakening. Yes, maybe not spontaneous. First, took me months to realize and comprehend what I experienced exactly. And second, I somehow I read a lot how much, for example, people can struggle. And even recently, it's interesting because people find me from different parts of the world. They contact me for different purposes and to share. For example, we discovered that we share similar experience. And even 2 weeks ago, a woman contacted me about radionics, but actually we had 3 hours talk, and she shared with me that she was almost paralyzed for nearly a year and a half after Kundalini Awakening. So I was lucky. I was really blessed and lucky that I escaped such negativity. But emotional pain, when you had this and after then you haven't, is the most horrible pain, because it's like you dream about this again, this connection. And what happened? Can you see this African kora behind me?
Yeah.
The
Uh-huh.
instrument. Yes, the instrument. I looked for my instrument more than a year. And my friend, the sound healer, she also play on African kora, and I tried drums, etc. But okay, this is not for me. This is not for me. I'm not taking. I'm not taking. And last year, we visited Isle of Wight because we attended an event organized by another charity. And I just spontaneously, I tried all her instruments for a year when visited her house, but never touched her kora. Like was, oh, this is like her sacred instrument. I never will touch it. But in this night, I took her kora and started playing like I always knew how to play on the kora. I just spontaneously, and even she started crying. But you play, and my
Wow.
other friends, they gathered around me, and but you know how to play. Of course, I didn't know. Just was spontaneously. In this moment when I start to play with Kora, my heart chakra reacted immediately the same way how I was in the beginning in the Kundalini Awakening, with this but slower, more balanced, not so intensive, warm vortex. And later, actually, and now I know, and I have this awakening still now, but it's much more balanced and slow. And somehow I used to learn how to manage this energy. So I believe I'm still in this, but not in this intensity. But when I needed something, information, person to help me, it was like this energy immediately is like you're connected with the whole world, and immediately someone find you. Like when I was in this searching what I experienced with this Kundalini and share with my colleague in in Africa. I have colleague in Kenya. He's deep in spirituality and in USA, etc., etc. And in one moment, found me a teacher, Chinese teacher. He has around 20 books published. He lives in
Montauk?
the USA. He found me. We just
Mon
in the Facebook in the post when I need something, when I need someone, always like invisible power bring these people to help me.
is his
So
name is his name Montauk Chia?
his name is Tao.
Oh, okay.
His name is Tao. I can give you even details about his books. And in one moment, because I had spiritual experience with a man on spiritual way, not physically. Physically, I rejected. So I was after exploration of twin flames, soulmates, different karmic group, etc., etc. Because what I see now in the Facebook groups and different social media groups, people are so obsessed with soulmates and twin flames when actually they have just negative experience with people evil that are attached to entities or just toxic narcissists, but they wrongly and they stuck and they lost years and they lose years just because they believe they experienced something with twin flame. Wow, actually, and I because I had similar experience with this mind, but in spiritual, in subtle way, like a power and force approached me and was, oh my gosh, is this your even spiritual experience with him during walks, etc. But later I discovered actually there is an entity and some kind of evil because you can easily recognize evil when they even it's strange when their eyes change when they're attached to entities, their eyes change, and even somehow they face sometimes they change.
Mm.
Remember now another strange experience I had when I was pregnant, and because in this moment my ex-husband started business, we became representatives for pharmacy company and for Africa, Benin, and he started business with a partner from Africa, and before he to travel for a couple of months and stay in Africa. We had the same dream a couple of times, like some evil or something will harm and hurt us. But I remember clearly, I was 8 months pregnant with my son, and one night, like a devil approached me, like some satanic or horrible being or something like paralyzed me. And I knew that it wanted to and change its shapes like a monster and human and man and again monster, another just some negative evil power and force or entity. I don't know, but it was like paralyzed me, and it was like a vivid dream again. And I knew that tried to take my baby, this negative force,
Mm.
and I wasn't able to move or say even a word just to push my ex-husband help me or something. No, I wasn't able. Just this power and negative entity and force and demon, maybe it was demon for someone. Maybe sometimes people they practice negative and magic and black magic and stuff and such, etc. But I remember one thing: I wasn't able to talk, but I started in my dream, and there was only one word I used to think in my dream: God. Every time I had this thought, God, this negative force and power demon from huge and massive everything, when I had this thought got and it's smaller and became smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and I was like got 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 in my vivid dream because wasn't able to move and talk, and at the end just disappeared. And in this very moment, horrible noise, horrible like a crash, like a something broken woke up us. And me and my ex-husband, we lived in this moment on the first floor, and we were like, "Oh, what happened? What happened?" And we started to go in the rooms. First in the gym, there was nothing here. In the kitchen, there was nothing here. Then what happened? What was this? It's like we thought someone threw maybe stone to break the windows, etc. So horrible, noisy, and when we opened the door for living room, the TV was in the middle of the room. The TV stand, the glass TV stand was broken, like someone crushed it. And there was like a hole in the terracotta floor. Like in my dream, this force, this power that I somehow broke with in my, it told God, 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 and something just crushed because this is not possible to be by accident. I to have this dream in the very same moment, and my ex-husband was, but how is possible? And when I share with him, do you know what exactly before this I had this dream and was so vivid and so scary, and I started, and he was, oh gosh, what is going on? And even we had this feel that he is not good he to travel to Africa, and bad things would happen, etc., etc. But I just remember it now because this is again strange. Now, again, this is strange experience, of course, but yes, I had it.
Wow. That's it's quite the experience you had there, or several experiences that you've had there. I appreciate you coming on the show. We're running up on about an hour and a half almost here. Is there any, before we go, is there any message or parting words that you would like to leave the audience with before we go?
Message. The message is just to follow what you feel, but what I want to add, because it's like a mantra when they say always follow your heart, or we have to follow both our minds and hearts, because and to find balance between mind and heart, because our mind is amazing. We are amazing beings. We are so complicated, so complex beings. We have amazing abilities. What I experienced for future generations will be just like absolutely ordinary experience, and because we have ability to develop and to develop our skills. Even now, I start, for example, I have my own courses, and in March, I even start my course for development of psychic abilities and to help other people, they to find, because also I help many people after my experience, they to balance themselves, or they to find answers. So my message is, our brain is amazing, our heart is amazing, we are amazing, we are much more than they always wanted me to know. And my last talks about Kundalini Awakening, even yesterday and last days, I told a lot why all these centuries, society and, for example, church and institutions, they always try to repress sexual energy and human energy, this natural energy that we have, and we are born with this energy. Because when we have this awakening, we are the most powerful and independent and strong and amazing and creative beings, and everything can change so fast and easy for our planet and society and humanity when we use this energy for goodness and for good and for the humanity, for love. And this is not and this is not my idealism, this is reality, because this energy can change everything. We can change everything. Nevertheless, mm, how deep and huge damage we already did it to our civilization and our planet. We can change everything because we live in quantum reality, and we have, my message is to know yourself. Know yourself. When you know yourself, when you connect yourself, when you know who you are and what we are as human beings, everything can change for in some amazing and beautiful way.
Wow. I, I agree 100% with you. It's time. It's
It's
time.
time. It's
It's
time.
time.
It's time.
Yeah. Yeah, the sexual energy, I believe, is the Kundalini energy, and it's the creative energy. It's not just for sex. It's for, it's for
No, this is
all.
the same energy. They just used to call it sexual energy or chi or kundalini, but this is the same energy. But do you know what was strange during my kundalini awakening? Even now, I never been single. All my life, I was in long partnerships, and for very short time, I stayed single. Only maybe after my divorce. More than 20 years ago, I was single for a year and a half, etc. When I had this Kundalini awakening, it was like I wasn't able to allow anyone to approach me.
Mm,
Just not because there was I wasn't like attractive or there were men that they had interest in me or he wanted the marriage or relationship, etc. This was like my energy was so pure and so, and because the level of their energy was different, it wasn't like a forbidden, even like rejection, even like a, and I just decided to follow, and why to jump in something and to harm this energy when so this is also interesting. If you're not in equal or somehow someone that also developed their energy. For example, during my last summer, me and my friend, we visited France for a choral workshop and retreat just to learn choral with one of the most amazing British choral teachers in France. So one night I had amazing deep talk, maybe one of the most deepest talks that I had with people, some other person, and it's like he knew what I experienced, but and he told me, do you know what? Because I was in this moment when I still looked for the heaven, I was like, I want this again, I want this again. And he told me, you never lost it, and it's in you. Just you have to learn how to manage. And he told me, I live with this 3 years, but he had a guru shaman teacher for 10 years, while
mm,
I haven't teachers. I haven't now, for example, I want to go in October with Sadhguru because all his teachings resonates me absolutely to India, Himalaya or Kailash, or whatever group I can attend. But now I know what I experienced. When I experienced, I didn't know what exactly I experienced. I knew everything else, but I didn't know what I experienced. So yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, Ina, talking with you and hearing some of your stories. And I will link some of your links to the things that you do to help people in the description of the video. And thanks for taking the time. And I enjoyed listening to you immensely. I appreciate that. And we're probably going to have to do this again because I can tell you have more stories to tell.
Yes, I
So.
have, I have, but these were really. I have every day, even with people, because I treat people with radionics, but also I help people they somehow to find themselves and to restore to recover from traumas, etc. And what I also discovered often Kundalini awakening could happen after deep trauma.
Yeah.
This is recently my thoughts in this because I still work on second book. Yes, first book is ready. Just have to complete the edition and to publish. And when I publish, I'll be in touch and will share that I published it.
Uh, yeah, yeah, and maybe we'll do another interview and talk about it.
Yes, it was
So,
pleasure to, and thank you very much for the patience to listen to me so long. So
oh no, I enjoyed it. It's my pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
thank you very much. We'll be in touch.